Welcome to Cache Canada Chats. I'm your host, London Westy, and we are so thrilled to be with you again on this cold, brisk evening in Canada. It's minus something or other, and it was so cold today, I said no to two more caches. That's right. Uh, Cache Line always says there's always one more, and for us, there was no more. It was so cold, we went for ribs. That's right. We went to an awesome barbecue place in Paris, Ontario, and it was very cool. Today, we have a really cool set of guests with us, our very first patrons. That's right. Our Patreon patrons, Vince and Kathy Rowe, TT01 and TT02. Welcome, guys. There they are.
Kathy Prater.
There they are.
Professor Prater.
Yeah, well, okay, I just say Vince and Kathy Rowe, but no,
Yeah.
they're not. Yeah, together. They're together, but not together. How are you guys?
Yeah. Oh, doing absolutely well. About 100 degrees warmer than you.
I bet. I'm coming down there to Texas. That's it. I'm going to retire and drive down to Texas.
There's a Paris, Texas, so I'm sure they have a couple of restaurants that you would like there that have barbecue as well.
Awesome. Very cool. This barbecue was actually founded by somebody, or it's modeled after one in Alabama.
Alabama.
And all the license plates on the wall are all Alabama license plates. That's really cool.
Where do they get the beef from? That's an important thing, right? Where do they get the beef?
Yeah, I know. Canadian beef. I don't know. So tell us a little bit about yourself, and we just dive right in.
I don't know, but we really our elevator pitch is that I'm born and raised in Cucamonga, California.
Mhm.
Kathy was born and raised in El Paso, Texas, and so we were just out there on a big adventure, and grew up there. Went in the Army for 10 years, Army Ranger graduate, and jumped out of planes for a living for many years. For 10 years, stayed in the Army. Got out and went to a company, a startup, a little small company called New Horizons Computer Learning Centers, and we were $100 million company and doing extremely well.
Yep.
Another couple of things is still learning a few other things on my own trading school, online finance trading school. Came to Texas to do some M&A for Fujitsu, and sold out, retired, having three hedge funds that were owned in 2009, and decided that I needed something to do, and that's how I got into geocaching.
So you started in 2009?
I started 2012.
12. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
12. When I was 50, and so Kathy started in 2009, and she graduated from undergrad at A&M. I can't get that out of my mouth. and did her graduate doctorate at KU
University.
Something about chalk and rock chalk stuff, something like that.
Yeah, nice, so, very nice. So a really good background, and you found geocaching, and then you found each other as friends.
It was interesting. Is that in 2014, if you ever saw my numbers, I went like this. This was going to get out. A couple of years, I was good.
Yeah.
And then I was inspired to get back in a Canadian trip. And I think you know that story, but we won't talk all about that. So stimulated me to get back in. I changed my name, our profile name, and Kathy was telling me that she likes to geocache as well. And I said, yep. So I'm changing my name to Torment the Obsessed, and ever since that's been my charter.
Yep.
And if anybody knows me, is that if I have goals and milestones in geocaching, it's tormenting and being the poster child in Facebook for anything that torments people.
Yes.
I do a lot of caching though. I'll tell you what.
Yes,
I'm the best cacher myself. So
you do, and you travel a lot, and you get a lot of targets.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And so our current goal, Kathy's current goal is all the 2000s. That's her top priority. What's your second one?
That's going to take so long to get all the 2000s.
Yeah. So she got a 5-year plan on that.
Yeah, I've got a 5-year plan to get all the 2000s.
All the 2000s, and mine's as you know is the all of the fizzy grids for now the virtuals and Earth Caches. So we're working on that, and I have that, and like I said, it was kind of interesting. That's something that keeps us busy, and we come to find out is that sometimes one cache on that grid takes an entire day.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes can't get them. We fail in a couple in Arizona. We have to go back and get them. But in the virtual grid is there's only one 4.5 virtual cache in the world.
I think I made a chart for that once to see if you could actually do it to get a fizzy for virtuals. And yes, you can.
You can, and you got to go to Germany. You got to go to a turnabout in the middle of north of Dusseldorf, and you got to know a little bit of German. I've been trying to do some groundwork on that one, and even her aunt, who is a German linguist and teacher in Kentucky, couldn't translate it. So we're having to
really
try to figure out what we're
you'll have to send me the link to that to that virtual, because a friend of ours, Chris too, from Austria, speaks German. Obviously, they're Austrian, speak German, and we've met him several times. He actually stayed at our house when he came to Geo Woodstock, and maybe we could get him to help. Where in Germany is it?
And if not in May, we're gonna have an event there, and hopefully some of the locals come out, and some of them have solved it and they can help us. So
nice. Where in Germany is it? North, south?
Dusseldorf. It's where Dusseldorf is, north of Bonn.
Yep.
So Bonn, north of Bonn, about an hour, and it's on a piece of art that's in the middle of a turnabout. And it has some German questions, but I think it's all in Hochdeutsch. Yeah. And I speak conversational German, not whatever this is. It needs to be translated. So your Austrian friend may have a little bit of trouble with it.
So you're going to get the world's only 4.5 Did you
4.5 right?
Virtual. Holy doodle! Wow, man, I'm jealous.
I keep looking for somebody that may have one of those virtuals left and say, "Hey, you want to be popular?"
Yeah, well, that's what I did when I created mine. It's a 3.5. It's somewhat difficult. There are 3 locations. The terrain might be a bit high, but I think some people, when they go, when the trail to the one tree there's 3 trees. When they go to the one tree, if it's muddy, it's easily a 3.5. So, but I created the rating based on what Canada didn't have enough of. I looked at, I could have easily just made it a 1.5, 2, or something like that. And I thought, no, if I add 2 more trees, it makes it more difficult and questions that you have to do. So I did a little bit of research to make it more interesting, something sought after. Because
I'm always happy that the people are thoughtful, because earth cachers are really more about the geology or whatever you're looking at there, and they're not so much about some of these things. But as you know, you finished yours, right? Your earth cache, right?
No, we're still 4 away. 2 of them we're going to get in the spring. There are actually 2 popped up very close to home. One that we need out of the 4 is right here in London, Ontario. And the other one is in Woodstock, which is 30 minutes away. And we're waiting till the spring, because the one that we need is, I think, 8 stages to this earth cache. And it's a bit of a hike to some stages. And you don't really want to do it in snowy, cold, and muddy conditions. So we're waiting to go with Liz Downey.
Yep.
Our good friend Arnie, and we're gonna go with him to do that one together. Yeah, he's got his full earth cache fizzy now. He surpassed me.
Maybe that's why I said Arnie about it. Yep.
Yeah, and Skycat from Ontario as well has hers. They both were behind us, and then they retired. Well, Arnie retired a long time ago, but Barbara Skycat retired and shot past me, and I'm like, oh, darn it all. So,
all right, you go along with us and finish the virtual then.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I looked it up, and yes, it can be. So I'm going to show. I want to share the screen to see what we're talking about here. Hold on. This is on Project GC. So if if I don't know if this is, you need to be a paying member, but get your profile. If you scroll down, you see all your stats, blah, 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 blah. Right. And then you come down to this one right here. A lot of people don't know this, but the difficulty terrain chart, shows you how many grids you have for the DTs. But over in the corner here, it says all. But if you click, and you wouldn't know to click on it because it doesn't look like you can click on it. You click on that, and it'll show you this is your full, or this is, in my case, my full traditional fizzy grid, just traditionals. and then multi. So now I'm working on this. I'm trying to fill in these little gaps here. So you can see
which
here.
one is that? I can barely see it here. It's
This
is
is
that
a
your multi? Yeah, it's your multi.
Okay, yep. And then this one here is the mystery. So I have a complete fizzy of mysteries. This is a letterbox. So you can start searching for, and the new search for geocaching, just the main page, you can isolate it to a specific type, and then you can isolate it to specific ranges rather than that scroll bar they used to have. Now you can just say, show me all the 5 2.5s letterboxes. You can see where they are, put them on a list, and then work your way on it. And then there's the Where I Go, Earth Cache, and this one is the one we've been talking about, is the fizzy for virtuals. So I don't know how many I have. Does it say? Oh, 36. So I have 36 out of 50. And I'm working on it. I'm going to start working on that now. But if I finish it, I finish it. If I don't, I don't.
It's not a goal. You don't have that as a goal.
Yeah, I'd like it. I would love to go to Germany with you.
Right.
When are you going?
May. We're going to Prague.
Oh,
We're going to Prague for the Giga.
oh, nice.
There's a Giga in Prague, and we have several German caching friends over there.
Mhm.
The European top DT looper is Papa Tony, and we always do dinner with him when we're over there. So we're absolutely going to do that.
And you, I think, are do you still hold the title of the highest number of DT grids of any geocache? Yes.
379.
79 full
379.
grids. 379. I was going to say 79. That's pretty low.
yeah, that won't get you. That won't get you on
379 grids.
That's right.
Wow.
So
Okay,
how
many does Kathy have?
379.
Oh, perfect. There you go. Awesome.
I don't log any on my own. So.
No, she doesn't log.
So, no. Okay.
She got hammered by the trolls early on, and it said she didn't write enough in their logs, and she didn't like that, so she took. I'm not gonna log. She hated it.
Unlike him, I do have the real job. So
yeah, she has the real job.
Yeah, I'm with you. I got a job too. So far. Yeah. So there you go. There's something that people can look at. They can. So you're working on that. You're working on filling all of those. And there's 6.
That's our goal.
Right?
2000s working on those. Occasional we'll do a loop, but looping right now is not our focus. Our focus is more looping on the virtuals and the earth caches, and it takes a lot of time.
How many earth caches do you have? How many more do you need?
Earth caches. That's a good question. I can look real quick here. I can't share my screen on StreamYard, can I?
Mm-hmm. You should. I just have to okay it.
Okay. Is there let's see here. I go same place you were.
It might be down on the bottom, I think.
Yeah, I got it here. Let's see. I'll put it over on the big screen.
And Dave in Texas said it for everybody. Wow. It's quite a feat.
So where is the share screen?
Share? Should be down on the bottom somewhere.
Share slides. No, share screen.
There you go. Nope, not coming up.
Tell me I have to open this up. Authenticate you.
Hey, I can look you up.
Oops, that didn't work.
Maybe I'll do it. I think I'll do it here. TT02. There you go. Get it before you can.
I already got it.
Oh, didn't allow me to do it. No. So what? Huh. Won't let me see your stats. Well, imagine that. Anyway, we lost him altogether. He booted himself right out. All right, he's been trying to share so much that he just got excited and just zoop. He'll be back in a few minutes. And while we're waiting for him to come back, let me show you this. Boom, 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 boom. Boom. Back up here. Geocacher's Corner Store. Okay, you're back, and I'm adding to the screen. There you go. There's your stats.
There you go. So now you can see it, right? Is it large enough?
Yep. Yeah, everybody can go to widescreen or full screen. There we go. I can go to full screen too.
And you go through here.
So, okay, yeah. So your traditional you got. Multi you got. Wow, nice. I hate multis.
I know, I do. We do too.
I hate earth caches.
She hates earth caches.
Yeah. I'll target multis now with the ratings that I need. So that's how and I started adding them to my list. So, oh, nice. Letterboxes, you got them all?
Letterboxes are good.
Mm-hmm. Where it goes are good. Nice.
A little anemic. Got a lot of ones in the wigs.
Those were all in Europe.
Yep.
And we actually did our first loop in Europe for where it goes.
Wow.
So they had a whole trail up there. But there we go.
There you go. Okay, I'm still ahead of you.
You stay ahead of me. You still got me on that one.
66
she whines and complains and moans and groans. There's an earth caches. Why are we adding those to the list? I hate earth caches. Throw a piece of paper and measure how fast it goes 20 feet in the water. I hate that.
Yeah. There you go. Well, you're going to get up there pretty soon, I'm sure. So in the springtime, we'll only need 2 more. We're either going to go to California or we're going to go to Nova Scotia to finish that off.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, that's sweet.
Okay, we're going to stop share.
So virtuals are still a ways away. Got a lot of 5.
Okay, cool. Excellent. So something recent development happened for you guys. You were out in the desert, apparently, and did something very special.
So a little bit of background is that I was in Spain on another trip a year ago with our French friends Kevin and Cujo and Terry, and it rained 90% of the time on us. We were over there. We had a big plans. And one of the things we said, nothing to do, everything kind of screwed up, and because of all the rain. And then they said, "Hey, look at this thing. Did you ever know there was a world record over here for Picarax up Madrid area?" I said, "No." He said, "I probably would never look at it because it's 2 2s. Would never do it, right?" But I did like the idea that he was able to get the Guinness Book of World Records, and he was able to put it on every single one of the cache pages, and it was recognized in the book. And much to Professor Prater's chagrin, I get something in my head. It gets on the list, right? And so this was one thing that we do know in Texas here. We have a lot of land. Then our commodity is land. We got bunches of land here and lots of space.
There's Arnie saying, "Is that Dr. Prater in the background?"
Yes, it is.
Our friend Arnie. Hi, Arnie.
Happy belated birthday.
Yes.
So days ago.
Is,
so lots of land. Texas is big.
We had a lot of land, and I knew that we could do it, but I didn't know how consuming the undertaking is. I did a show the other night. We were talking about it. Some people say, "Well, records are made to be broken." I said that is true. And let me tell you, is that we're breaking the record and putting caches out and having people find them just like that. Anybody could do it, do some geo art, stuff like that. But the problem is the list that you have to go through for the audit and the actual certification to get your certificate. It's a beast. Yeah. I mean, every single cache you got to take a picture of. Everything has to be videotaped, has to be audited. There has to be witness statements. And then what you have to do is you have to go through a whole certification process, which is not cheap. Not cheap at all. I mean, when you want to once you bring in those guys and you got to bring them out to the Texas desert, not cheap.
Oh, you got to pay for that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Oh, wow.
So you need to step up, and they don't do it for free. And so you can, or there is a path, I think, to free, but you will get your certification for about a year after you've done it. Somebody will already have stepped on you by then. So we started early enough to make sure that we knew what the process was. The guy that has a current record is just an awesome guy out of Spain, Picarax, and we're going to have a meeting with him in the next week or so and talk about the speed bumps that he hit along the way and a few other things that we need to be aware of, so we don't run into him as he did when he did his certification. So it worked out really well. So then so what we did is we ended up with the world record, GeoArt to finds, right? We had all those ships
Nice.
up there, and a lot of us out there in the middle of the desert. And
Mm-hmm.
we did our first run, and really what the first run was kind of like touring the model, and we're finding so many mistakes that, glad we didn't try it first time and thinking we had everything right. We didn't. So our numbers a little off. We had caches out of place, and so to be able to do it right the first time, you don't get a second chance. And they say, okay, we'll see you. We'll see you in 6 months, and we'll come back out and audit you again once you get this all right.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to the with a whole group of folks out there and looked at it, and we're going to go back and officially inviting you and all your guests April 2nd and 3rd for the actual audit run of the entire trail. We'll visit every single cache. We'll videotape it. We will record it. We will point to it where it's at and number it up to 1,350. We're working on that right now.
And that is part of what has to be done?
Oh yeah, that's minimum. I should have shared with you at some point.
You gave me a sheet. I couldn't find it. I was going to pull it up and just
That's right. I did
scroll.
send it to you. I thought I did send it to you.
Yeah, but I don't know where it went. I was going to scroll it down. It was huge.
Certify media, and you have to, some kind of county record that has to be in, and where the location is.
And you have to have it like a odd. What are they? Not a lawyer, but somebody has to testify that it's there.
Oh yeah, two. You got to get two notaries type things as testified.
Yeah.
They certified that what you have there as well, right? So so it's just not somebody standing there and run along. There's lots to do. There's a massive amount of things to do, right?
Right.
I bet.
I like hiding caches. I like finding caches.
Okay, now you like hiding them, but did you like hiding these? How long did it take to hide all 1,300?
Right. We were out there for 5 days.
Yeah.
We explored well more than what it ended up to be, the 162 miles of trail that we have out there. Mm-hmm. We had 5 days, and then we hit caches all 5 of those days, but we explored lots of roads. We wanted to try and make it as accessible as we could, but we ended up in the lower half of where we are below I-10 here. It ended up in some pretty rough territory, but we had a little 4-wheel drive Jeep Compass, and we never used 4-wheel drive. We stayed on roads that were county scaped roads. Yeah. And we made sure that in most cases that we were not in some place where we thought somebody would get stuck in anything less than a high clearance vehicle. So there were high clearance vehicles, except for Paintball Vet, who obviously ended up getting his car stuck. I think you probably saw those pictures.
So BK649 and BK73 ask, where is that? And I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
Because I have it pulled up to geocaching maps, I think. No, that's not it. There. Okay, so I'm actually going to share that. So can everybody see that? There we go. Okay. So if I pull back here, you can see there's the United States. It's a massive amount of green and blue and orange dots. And we're going to pull in here to north of Chihuahua, Mexico. Chihuahua. Okay. That's what Chihuahua looks like in writing. Wow.
That is.
Who knew?
Right.
So there you go. There's the snake, and it's I-10 is running over the snake, and it goes all the way up to Highway 62. So there's the head of the snake. I'm gonna get rid of that. There we go. There. That's the whole of it. How many miles is that from here to here?
That's probably about 89 miles from the end of the tongue to the end of the rattle and the rattlesnake.
Wow, that's amazing. And they are mysteries. And where I goes?
And what we found out is that I have a GeoArt with the Challenge Trail here in Dallas, and I thought that one's tough, but this one's even tougher because I am not an artist by any stretch of the imagination.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I stepped back, I was finished with the first draft of this, and I stepped back, and Kathy stood right next to me, and in a deadpan voice, she says, "Looks like a sperm."
Yeah. Kind of.
Well, that's the best I got. So I had to put a
Yep.
little more curve in it. And if you zoom in, you can kind of see there's a little character on there, some diamonds and a few other things.
Yeah, I saw the diamondback. So it's a diamondback rattlesnake, right? That's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's a hybrid
Kind of.
probably 6 types of
There you
snake.
go.
But if
So,
you zoom down,
yeah.
I added the other day after Geocaching Headquarters got back with us and our amazing reviewer here got this approved, is that we gave folks 23 of these. I'm going to share my screen.
Oh, okay. Share your screen.
I'll share my screen real here.
There you go. I'm back. Yeah, you're back.
We gave them 23 of these little guys. Do you see what that is?
No, I see your snake. I see a snake.
You see that? See this little guy right there?
Yep.
Yep, that's a Chihuahua snake.
Oh, wow.
You ever seen those?
A Chihuahua snake. Oh, I can see it now. Yeah, I zoomed in.
Yeah, so 23 of the 1,350 caches are actually Mexico caches.
Oh, how did you manage that?
Well, I met. Again, what I do know, having been in Europe several times, is that in Europe they have caches. I've seen a couple of caches like this where the virtual was in another country, but the actual cache was in the physical cache was, in Germany or whatever country it was. And I said, well, hey, Travis, I think they do that. Can you check on it? Checked with the HQ, and they said, hey, yeah, those should be Mexico caches. And so, 23 caches you see across the border down there as virtuals. Those are caches in Mexico. So you can get your 2 more types in Mexico if you don't have
right there.
Have those.
So no, the physical caches aren't in Mexico.
Yeah or not?
No, but because the original coordinates are in Mexico, that's why.
They're in Mexico. Chihuahua, Mexico.
Oh, cool. All right. That's interesting. Huh. So did you know you were bleeding over the border?
We did. But we didn't know whether or not they were going to give us credit or not. Right? That was the big thing. We talked about it. We said, hey, they do it there. And then HQ got back with them and say, hey, you guys got 23 caches that would qualify. So they let me go into my system and move them to Chihuahua, Mexico.
Yeah. That would upset some people, but that's what you're there for, right?
Oh,
TT02.
Torment the best. Touche.
Yeah. Good for you. There you go.
Yes.
Clap to you. Because some people will say, well, that's not right. They're not really in Mexico. You're going to get a credit for whatever. To each their own.
The answer is they don't have to log them.
That's right.
Correct. That's true. Yes.
Yeah, they don't have to. Yeah.
Wow. Les Nessman is hosting the show. I don't have a Band-Aid. I better get a Band-Aid. Hold on. I got to close my door.
No worries.
There we go. Good. So Houston, Texas Dave wants to know April 2nd and 3rd, where will you start?
We have a muster place. We're going to start at the same muster. You're going to see it's going to be about an hour north of Sierra Blanca.
Yeah.
About an hour north of Sierra Blanca. We'll have a meeting on the Friday night before on the 1st, April Fools. We'll have a meeting with everybody that are willing to help us and do the audit with us. Every cache has got to have like a piece of paper. We haven't figured the logistics out yet, but we're going to have to figure out all of the logistics to be able to have someone stand there at every single cache and hold up some kind of designator what cache this is, where it's at, where it's in the bush, and what number it is on the trail. And so
Sierra Blanca is right there on Highway 10. It's right where the highway intersects the Snake. And
now everybody in Sierra Blanca Blanca does not have a hotel that I would encourage anybody to stay in. So if you go out to the east to Van Horn is where we will meet the night before. Yep, that's Van Horn.
There you go.
And there's a nice park and grill there that's in Van Horn.
Yeah, don't stay here. Rest in peace. I bet you that's not a good place to stay. If you're staying there, it's permanently.
So what do you know what Van Horn is famous for?
Oh, I don't.
It got on the map here just recently for being the closest town to the Blue Origin launch site, which is about 20 minutes north there. And that's Blue Origin actually launches Captain Kurt and Michael Strahan and all those famous people and all those other folks that were in the space industry for many years that launch, and their launch pad is 20 minutes north of Van Horn. So
Wow.
if you're lucky enough, and they have another one that
Goes off at
goes
that
up
time.
north, then
Yeah.
obviously you might be there for a launch. Who knows?
Dave asks another question: are there a lot of different DT ratings?
There are,
on the-
but like the other projects that we're involved with, this one doesn't have higher DTs. Most of these are generally by the road. They're higher in the fact that the containers are small in many instances.
Yeah.
But you're not going to find too many 4.5 terrains out there. I mean, we have a few that you have to hike small mountains and a few other things that will bring the terrain up, but you're not going to have some of the tough stuff, special tools. You don't need ladders.
There aren't a lot of trees out there.
There aren't a lot of trees out there, as you show in the pictures coming up here.
Yeah.
The group that was out there, it's pretty small, so you're not going to get a lot of the hefty DTs, but you'll get a lot of the higher difficulties, and that'll be something that if you're out there on the second and third, you'll see. And like I said, it's in our interest to make sure that you find them all, so we can get a proper audit of the deployed caches.
Yeah, I'm going to share some pictures from your Facebook page. So here we go. That's a group of your Jeeps. So they were all this type of vehicle, or did somebody have it?
No. Those were just. I encourage people to bring out their 4-wheel drives so they could get out there and see, be there to pull cars out in case we get a couple of them stuck. We had two stuck. One needed the winch to pull out, but that was a sedan in soft sand, and went down a road probably shouldn't have. But he
Yeah, this is one of my favorite pictures that you did. Is all the vehicles. So there were is there 12 vehicles there or so?
Yep. 12 or 13. I don't remember.
Yeah.
And they're actually taking that picture from a hilltop from one of the caches.
Yep. Yeah, I know. One thing
to get that cache.
When I saw the listing go up, and I first heard about your GeoArt from your fair people Facebook page, and
isn't that where we hear all the escapades?
My first thought would be this would be very much like the trail, the ET trail, that you would all have caches on the side of the road, but it's not like that. It's a lot harder than what I imagined that it would be.
These are all tethered. They're hopefully there for a long time. It's not rolling a cache. I've told people I don't really mind if you roll a log, but then leave the cache in place because they're all tethered there for the long term. I think we have like 2 unusual rock piles, which you would find mostly on the ET trail, where they jump out and jump back in. No, these are tethered vehicles and containers all along the highway, all the way from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, and you're climbing mountains, like your hills.
That's where a cache is. They're coming down from where the cache is, right?
Wow, that's something.
So there's some terrain there. As Houston Dave asked about terrain, we did put some terrain in there, and more in the southern section where you're getting out of the vehicle. I didn't want anybody getting out running across the road in the northern section, which is paved. But I think the entire morning we were there, we saw maybe 3 cars. We also are very well known. I spent some time with the county sheriff. All these caches are in one county. Anybody's on a county run, you have to go through a lot of counties to get to this county. But if you're doing a county run, that Hudspeth County is the county you're going to be in. And Hudspeth County Sheriff absolutely knows where all of these caches are. I made sure that they were all on county roads. I showed them where they're at. And people that get out there will see that really interesting is at some point some developer came in there, bought out a farm, and then put a whole bunch of dirt roads in with street signs. I think you saw John Wayne Street out there and some of the photos. And it decided to do a development there that didn't go really well. So you got a lot of street signs. You got a lot of county roads that are now county maintained and scraped roads on a development that has not taken off. Water is not a commodity out there unless you want to dig a well that's 1,500 feet or deeper, and it's not deep, right? Or you bring it in from someplace else. So we decided to use those roads and street signs as some of them are the locations for our caches. But if you are in the market for a desert oasis, you might want to take note as you drive around and find caches there, because there's a lot of availability.
Mhm. Yeah, I've noticed a lot of geocachers must do this. If you're looking at caches on the map, and then you start looking at the satellite image, you can see in various places. I've noticed this a lot in Florida, and even
Florida.
we saw in Nevada a lot of places that look like they're developed for a
Yep.
town that
Yep.
never happens.
Yep.
The fire
We've been
hydrants
there.
are there.
We've cached those. Yeah, we've cached several of those.
Yeah.
You got to
And we
go
would
20 miles down the freeway to get back to them, right?
Yeah.
Some-
The one cache that we targeted in Nevada when we were there, it was there were like 4 or 5 homes, but all the streets were there, and somebody was looking at us. What are you doing here? And this cache would be in where somebody's house would end up going if it
Right.
ever developed. But
Right.
it just, these failed communities, or people have dreams that just don't go very far.
Yeah, we didn't walk anybody's property. We drove through a couple of the old abandoned farms or the ranch
Yeah.
houses out there, which are really cool pictures. And again, you'd see in the pictures some of the interesting things that got left out of there when the ranchers left. But put a magnet on it so you go there and see it. So we ended up doing some of those things that you wouldn't otherwise see. But a lot of cool pictures out there for like old antique cars and different things that would be the leftovers from a farm long ago and a failed development. And so sheriff said, we don't care. He said the county's got to pay for those roads to be scraped anyway. So that's the upper portion there. That's the
paved road
north of the highway, and those are all our cars. You won't find very many cars from the locals there.
So I've done this, but not with this many cars. Leapfrogging.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
We did the first day.
That it's something that a lot of people will frown upon. Some people frown upon, some don't. Doesn't matter to me. It's when you get 1 and 2 cars and 3, but you had 13 cars.
We did. Yep.
Yeah. But
they were in 2 and 3 car groups. So each 2 or 3 cars stopped at each of the locations. Doesn't make it any better. I know you're still going to get you're still going to get those that say that's cheating. And I always say, where's that rule book? Show me that rule book that they can never produce. Is that in their mind, they've made up imaginary rules and they want to abide by those rules, and everybody else should too.
Yeah.
It's just like a religion. Right? There's a book, and we're going to abide by that book.
Yeah, I had this conversation recently. I don't know. It's on Facebook somewhere. I posted my comment was, Karen and I ourselves went out with the Sparks crew. They're on occasionally on Facebook. You see them, and we went. We did 275 geocaches in the winter, in the cold, in a puzzle series. It was I love Karen very much because my knee has been hurting and my back was at the same time. She got out and did all of them, almost all of them. I did a few. I did the driving and navigating, but anyway, we did leapfrogging, but that was 2 vehicles, and to some that's too many, or 1 too many. But I came across with the analogy of the speed limit is 65 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Do you always go 65 miles an hour? Do you go 67, 69, 72? How far is too far? So how many vehicles is too many? Right. So it's your perception of. So when I drive down the 401, the speed limit is 100 kilometers an hour. I go 120. Is 103rd speeding? No, 101 is speeding. So, and so if you say that leapfrogging is against the rules, do you always drive the speed limit?
Right. Oh yeah, that's right.
I bet you the people that are saying that it's not right are not driving the speed limit.
If you look at it, it's like we're the only ones doing it. And I pointed out, and here recently, I said somebody needs to probably go look at the ET trail because, as I said, do all 10 of those people jump out and sign their individual signatures on all the logs in the ET trail of the thousands and thousands of people from all over the world to do it? No. Oh, but I was driving.
No, you have a driver, you have a navigator, you have a picker, you have a signer, you have a trader,
a rotator. Right? You got somebody doing it, and that's how they do it, and that's how it's done. And they're saying, well, that's okay.
Yeah. So
we used
Dave
to-
says with a big group like that, it must have been a lot of fun, and I bet you it was a blast.
we had a blast.
Yeah.
We rib each other, and if we roll up and they can't find it, you get harassed. It's just so much fun, right?
Yeah.
Is that we're usually the trail vehicle, and we're always giving people a hassle, and if they can't find it by the time we roll up on them, and so it's really fun. It's a fun natured, great adventure. We do the TT02 adventures is something we do usually winter and fall, and it's usually a big group of folks that just absolutely love to be outdoors, have a great time, different capabilities, and
Yeah.
always come up with some kind of new tool or some kind of new device you're going to need for the trail, and make it interesting. So you don't come and do the same thing over and over again. It's never rote.
Yeah. And Kathy, I'm very sorry that we're not going to California. I know we got your hopes up. Darn it all.
Yeah, we're going.
I just got back.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in Santa Barbara for Christmas, where her parents are, her brother and mother, and then her dad's in Abbotsford, so we're going to see him when we go up there. He lives in Langley, if you know where that's
Wow.
at.
Yep.
Yeah, lives in Langley up there.
What's he doing up there? Is that where you're from?
No, he actually moved there when I was 5 for business.
Yeah.
So he's lived there ever since.
Very cool.
He loves it up there, and he had a horse farm for the longest. And just 2 years ago, I think he sold his big old horse farm up there, and now just moved to Langley and has otters in his lake. So he owns a lake up there.
Very cool.
I'm gonna go see the otters. So it sounds fun.
Do you have a Facebook group for this geo art?
I do. You can start with the Cachers TT02. Make sure it's Cachers TT02, not the number. It's TT0. O is the letter. TWO. I made a mistake the other day.
Bring that back up again.
Yeah, you might want to show that, so it makes people
Yeah.
see what this is all at. So, and then what I'll do is I'll put you in the TT02 adventures page if you'd like to go on some of these adventures, and this happened to be one.
Yep. Cachers TT02. There you go, Dave. You can join in. Okay, awesome. Exit and out. There we go. So, how long did it take for the first to finders to find all the caches?
It took us, I'd say, a solid 3/4 of the day, the first day, and then
And that was 800.
that was 800 caches. That was on the paved road, and then another almost full day for us to complete all of the lower ones, because then you went to the rugged country. We had lots of offshoots and a lot of different things.
And I haven't looked at the pages I haven't checked to see what you have to do. They're mysteries and where it goes. What do you have to do to get the corrected coordinates?
The puzzle coordinates are on every single page.
Yep.
The final chords are visible. So it is a process of clicking and pasting. They should have all the solution checkers there, and it will do it for you once you click and paste on all the mysteries. And then 100% of the where it goes are all reverse where it goes with the number in there. And you can go Cache Sleuth or someplace else like that, and in MASH you can
You can run macros in GSAC that'll do all of it for you.
Yeah, macros and GSAC were how they were doing out there on the fly.
Yeah, if people didn't know about reverse where it goes, go ahead. There are ways to get them without actually traveling around thing, and I can share one of them for you. I just did one today. Actually, no, that was one of the ones we didn't go to because it was too cold. Hang on a sec. One of them is on GC Tools. I'll share this screen. Boom. Okay, hang on. Stop share. Share screen. Chrome tab. There we go. Share. So this is one. It's a reverse where I go solver. You put in the 3 codes that you have, the 3 numbers, and you just put encode. Boom! It gives you the coordinates. That's
now,
it.
will that do batch? So if you go to Cache Sleuth, if you put them all in there,
you put in. No, I don't think this does. So Cache Sleuth.
CacheSleuth.com.
Yep.
Jason Fox, who runs that site, did an amazing job where you can just massive on a mass level. If you get them all in there at once, it'll convert them all for you. Just got
Very nice. Very nice. So Jason Fox, was he the one that there was a created to create a Where I Go? I think that's Fox something. It was
no, it's not the same guy. I know who you're talking.
Oh,
Ranger
okay.
Fox.
Ranger Fox. Yeah,
Ranger
that's
Fox,
that's what I used to create a couple Where I Goes.
Yeah.
Okay, not the same one.
Okay. No, this is Jason out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Oh, okay. Cool. So what did I say? What did you say it was again? Something
Cache
sleuth.
Cache
Sleuth.
SLEUTH.com.
Whoops.
Yeah, and he's got a whole bunch of tools up there that are really cool if you've never gone to a site and like our little secret site that we use for so many things and helped so much on the GeoArt because you had to create all of the reverse where he goes. Once you have the cords, you put all the cords in there and it creates batches of reverse where he goes for you.
Wow.
So I do just the opposite if you're looking to the large GeoArt. So I just cut and paste all those right back into my spreadsheet, and I have them on the same line as as all the cords, the virtuals, and the finals.
Very cool. That's
to you too.
Yeah. So how did you get them all on a map to be? What did you? Okay, you're going to share your screen.
Yeah, I share my screen here. Kind of give you the. And whatever you do, don't look at the hints because all the hints are here too.
Okay. There, we'll add that. There we go. I don't know if we're going to be able to see it.
So what you can see here is that this column here is all the batch, the vast reverse wigs, where it goes. And so whenever I put them in, you can see somewhere down here, see wherever it was W, it was where I go. And so those are the numbers that I used. But you can see all of them.
So you did the map.
Oh, did you see the map and how the map worked? Is it so? That's not it. 1 second. It should be. Oh, it's not running. It's Google Earth. And when I did the Longhorn Challenge Trail, this is how I learned how to use the Google Earth to be able to align and get the grid coordinates for all of the view. So what you can see here is in the background behind there, you can see what we got. We pulled off all of the blue in the background. Those are all the files that we pulled right off the new SR 66 SR from Garmin, which is an amazing GPS. I can recommend it for anybody who wants accurate cords. I think we had one complaint about cords the whole time. 1,345 caches. We had one complaint about the cords.
Wow.
And it's like stand there and mark it and go. And so we were able to put all these up there.
So this is done with Google Earth.
This is Google Earth. Yep.
Wow.
And you can see all the different colors that were really, never ended up on the map because we only had 2 colors and they were both blue with a little bit of highlight.
But that's how you can measure to make sure your virtuals are within 2 miles of your finals. And
right. And so what you have to do is that your virtual and your final, as Kathy just said, has to be 2 miles. And it's kind of hard to see, but can you see all of the red lines on there?
Yep.
So you can click on any one of those red lines and get the info off of it. And then you can say between here and the final. Oops, I screwed that up. One more time. So you get between here and the other one, you get measurements. Probably can't see that, but the measurements here, it will tell you how far it is from each of them. 1.19 miles in this case. That's within 2 miles.
Wow.
So, now you only have to do that 1,350 times.
Okay, so
plus you have to do the art. So there is an overlay in here too.
How long did it take you to do that part of it? Like it took you 5 days to put them all
long time. I'm not being funny. It took a long time to get weeks to get the snake line just right and make sure that it was doing its serpentine route that was within the 2 miles, and you had to move it. It is at this level a lot of work trying to find the overlays. There's a whole bunch of overlays, and I'm going to zoom out so you can kind of see them.
Yep.
But the overlays that went on there were, let's say, the snake middle, and I don't know if you can see that one. Let's see. See, it starts to come in a little bit here, but you can kind of see the snake has an overlay that comes in. That's right now it's not linked up to it, but there's an overlay that you put on there, and it's got some transparency, and that kind of gives you your outline of where you have to put it. And then you have to decide how far apart are each of the virtuals, so they match up to how many you have on the road and how many caches are along the road, and they have to be moved accordingly. There's no other rule, but it has to be within 2 miles, so you have to kind of pack them all in to make it all work.
Yep. Wow.
But you can see is that when you get to areas where you have more cache density, like here, then we did it. Then we color coded these little sections as we went down the road. That the green sections were only high clearance vehicles. The red section was only 4-wheel drive Jeeps, and so it got a little more tougher. So we could organize it so everybody knew exactly what and how we were going to go down the road and attack it when we got south into the hills here.
Yep. That's amazing. That's oh man, you got to be an engineer.
No, I'm not. I'm not an artist either. So that's why I look like a sperm. So
well, you got the rattle on there, so that's something.
We did, and number one is I just published it today. Is that number one is a challenge cache? It would be the first one. It will be a Chihuahua, Mexico challenge cache, and it will be 1,300 caches in Hudspeth County. And that will be somebody that finishes down there, and that will be, obviously a pretty good DT. So if you make it all the way down there and you finish all these, then you get to award yourself with a signature on the challenge cache for 1,300 caches in Hudspeth County. And that's what you see here on the chart.
Yeah, amazing work. House Fox says amazing work that has gone into that.
Yeah, a lot of
hats off to both of you. Thank you so much. That's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Kathy said she's throw me under the bus if we decide to do something like this again. So we won't do it again. Never more.
Yeah, Dave says he's going to go leave some swag in. And what are the containers like? They're not all the same. They're
there's probably 3-4 different kinds of containers.
Yeah.
There's large preforms. Some are clear preforms with a nice little silver tether that we've tethered up to trees. Black bisons with
all color bisons.
Oh yeah, I guess we have some. Yeah. We have reds and purples and blues. We have a whole bunch of different colors bisons. They all got good O-rings that we've learned over the years that that desert heat can just blister those things, and so we put all the O-rings in there that are going to last the test of time that we've used before. And then the very, very annoying that everybody hates, the little brown buggers. And those little brown buggers, just about that big, about that round, and they all have 2 mil indestructible, non-tearable paper in them. Somewhere around here, I had those, but that's the type of paper you can't tear, but it'll stay out there forever. The container will break, but the brown one,
you don't.
Those, so
about 800 of the little brown buggers out there.
Yeah, so. And you don't have a lot of rain to worry.
11 inches a year, and when it rains there, it just goes away just like that. So so it's just like the Mojave does in California, and those caches have been out there in the house series for 7-8 years, and you still find them in great shape. So it's just not a lot of critters out there want to chew on them, but there are lots of them out there that been out in another series we've had out there for a long time, and they just stay in forever because the dark color, so dry, and the dark color, and even when it rains, it dries up almost immediately.
We do have to give a shout out to Sun City Sandy and her husband Jeff, because they actually stuffed and tethered all of the containers for us.
Right.
Wow.
We had the caches, but they took the time to prepare all of the containers.
The bisons and the little brown buggers, they tethered them up for us, and they were sitting there watching TV, and they just sit there for 2 weeks while I was working on the art, and Kathy was working, and we had them do that. So we do have to give them a shout out for some of the manual labor in putting those together for us, and they were amazing. And Julian Paintball Vet helped with it. Paintball Vet for some of the art. He's done the art before, so he's done a lot of that you would see on the screen. Then I came back and modified it and made it less like a sperm, and that's where it's at.
Well, it must be hard to do because you've got to follow a road too.
Oh, yeah. Well, the
and
2
be
mile,
within
the
two
2 mile
miles. Yeah,
limitation is tough. You're right. You're
yeah,
absolutely right. The 2 mile
right.
limitation is not an easy thing to contend with, and
Yeah.
you had to have a piece of art that took that in consideration.
Hmm.
Uh, when we saw the one over in Spain, the thing about that is that's along a busy highway. So the frontage roads of a busy highway. It's a
Yeah.
big kind of square and a big map, and a lot of that you're playing Frogger to get across the roads and into cars. And I didn't want to do that. And two,
Yeah.
I also wanted it in a place that's going to run the test of time, because how many of these big geo arts that have been deployed? We saw in Arizona with our good friend Josh Broadwater. He put that out in Arizona, and it wasn't 2 months later they were taking it down because people weren't happy with people driving around their houses. And so
Right.
we wanted some place that was pretty desolate, and the sheriff knew what we were doing, and he condoned it. So if anybody called in, then he would say, "Hey, we know all about this, and they're not getting off the road.
Very
They're
good.
not rustling your cattle, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They're out there staying within the easement of the roads." And
He actually begged us to come back. And
yeah, he wants to come back in July. He
He
says
wants us to come back for
the
his
biggest thing that
4th of July.
happened to Sierra Blanca in a long time. That's the county had like 13 caches, and it's a huge county. He says,
one of
"Hey,
our
in July we come back."
yeah, one of our patrons just said, in the words of our host, "Holy doodle!" Exactly. Thanks, guys. Any good ammo cans? Are there any ammo cans in the series?
There is. We actually at the end. Here's one of the things I wanted to do, and I'll kind of point it out here, is that the trail ended a little bit early because Kathy and I met up with let's just say 2 sketchy little gentlemen that ended up being, and you can see here, right here at this abandoned farmhouse right there. We ended here, and that's where the cache is, but we ended down there, and I wanted to go further. And you can kind of see this dirt road that goes this way.
Yep.
We did not do this until after the full day was over, and we only did it with 4-wheel drive Jeeps. But we went around to the mountain range that sits over here to the east, and we actually hit, and you'll see them on the map if you look on the geocaching map, up here on this hill at the end of this road at the Rio Grande River. Lots of the pictures are from there, right on the Rio Grande River. Right up here, we put some ammo cans and some unactivated geo coins and a whole bunch of other to a cache we call the most remote cache in Texas, and it's out there.
Yeah,
and you're going to need another hour to get out to there after you're done with the whole trail if you decide to take the time, and you would have to have a nice, capable 4-wheel drive vehicle.
So there you go, Dave. You can head out there
You
to
can hike a
remote
really
Texas.
long ways, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
be a heck of a hike.
Yeah, somebody was asking us about Border Patrol. Is that we never got hassled once by the Border Patrol. And we had somebody when we were Sierra Blanca in the midday taking our break before we did the southern section. State trooper rolled up on us and wanted to know what we were doing and why the group was here. And we told him where we were going. And he told me, "Hey, oh yeah, the sheriff told me that you guys are going to be here." So the sheriff was pretty excited about being there, and their dispatch had my number if they needed to call me to ask anything. And the cell signal is not as strong, but they never had need for call to call me. Again, we stayed on the road, and it's pretty desolate out there as far as residents or anybody else who would complain about us being there. So we didn't even see Border Patrol. Nobody stopped us. Nobody checked our vehicles. That was, like I said, just there's no border wall there. So we went all the way to the Rio Grande River and dipped our toes in it. So, so it's really nice.
Jason asks, "What was the general cost?" If you don't mind saying.
Clarify the question.
Yeah,
cost
because
to put out the trail or cost
to put out
the
general cost to put out the geo art. So I would say the cost to put it out for 5 days, hotel stays, and containers.
Gas, but we're 7.5 hours drive from there, and here's big cities, El Paso. You'd fly into there. A lot of people had to fly into El Paso and rent their vehicles there, and so that's a tricky question. So containers, let's say containers, and all the bisons and all the tether, and all the logs, and maybe $600.
Oh, way more than that.
$1,000. $1,000.
Not cheap.
Stuff I don't like.
My guess is all in. It was about travel and everything was probably close to $5,000. Would be my guess.
Wow.
Putting it.
with travel and all the containers
And considering it how remote it is, right? And
Yep.
the hotels are cheap. You know, hotels are cheap out there. It's not like a big city,
Yeah.
New York or London, Ontario. How expensive it is up there.
Now, well, right now, Florida is expensive. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, Vegas, Florida.
When I looked at going down to the Keys there, the places were unbelievable. They were out of reach almost.
Hotels are crazy. Rental cars are even over the top. I don't know if you've seen rental cars, but they're
when I looked into California, the flight to Sacramento from Detroit to Sacramento was $750. The rental car was $0, no extra cost.
Oh, so you bundled it?
Yeah, and I'm like, well, okay, I'll add a car, and I'm thinking, oh, $168 or whatever. No, it was $0. I couldn't believe it.
Interesting.
Wow,
it was weird. Yeah. Anyway,
maybe we should try that.
I was going to say.
Yeah,
because since you blew us off and going to San Francisco with us, we just
I know. Yeah,
we're
come up to Victoria. There you go. It's out there now. More than just the patrons know that we're going to Victoria, BC next month. So there you go.
Yep.
It was on our radar to go to Victoria during Geo Woodstock, but you have to. The crossing is an hour and a half on the ferry, and we were going to go across, spend the day, a night, and maybe another day, and then come back. And what we've heard a number of people say that Victoria is well worth going for more than a day. That's really worth going a lot.
Absolutely.
We've never been to Vancouver Island. And I just decided, we couldn't.
There, just beautiful.
Yeah. We couldn't decide on a destination outside of Canada in February. I just wanted to go away. I have some vacation time I have to use up. So I thought, well, where's the warmest place I can go in Canada? Obviously, it's not Whitehorse, the Yukon,
Yellowknife,
or Yellowknife, or Whitehorse, Northwest Territories, or Labrador. So Victoria and the southern end of Vancouver Island is the warmest you're going to get. It might be 10, 12 degrees, maybe. It might rain. Who cares? It's not going to, well, I'm going to say it's not going to snow, but we went to BC in the summer and it was a heat wave. It was hot. And then we went to BC at Christmas and it was a cold snap. So anyway.
Though. It's just amazing. So you're going to be up there when?
February 11th to the 18th.
Okay. So, in Calgary, they always talk about their Chinooks, right? They don't get much snow. But sometimes it stays warmer in Calgary than other places. I noticed when I used to fly up there for business years ago.
Yeah, and I was just posting on our local provincial Facebook page. There's a new airline in British Columbia. It's called Lynx. And somebody looked up the flight. It was $78 to fly from Toronto to Calgary.
Wow. Bring your own folding chair? Like Spirit.
Like Spirit. You do have to piecemeal. But if you plan now a weekend away, you could get away for dirt cheap now with that kind of price. So anyway.
Wow. You don't wear clothes. It's they charge you extra to wear clothes.
I found when I was booked, I didn't book the flight, but I was looking at it on Spirit. It was funny. It was like, luggage. Yeah. And then carry on. Sure. That's $20-$30 or whatever it was. And then do you want a seat? What? You mean I can stand? Hey, I'll stand. Why not?
hang on to the.
Yeah, it's like like a bus. Like we're experiencing some turbulence.
The tube.
I don't know. Yeah, Spirit. We've flown Spirit before, but it's gotten a little funny. Anyway, so there you go. So it's awesome. Hey, you're coming up to Geo Woodstock?
We are. We will be there for the Giga. Won't miss a Giga. My other thing that I'm almost done with, so I'll finish this. I really didn't target it as a goal, but I'm almost finished with all the diamond badges, and so I'm just working on gigas. We all need gigas, and we go to Peru in June. We go to Peru in June to get our 4,500 meter elevation one. So that's another one we'll finish up in Peru, and in outside of Cusco, the Painted Mountains. We'll go up there and get that 4,500 foot cache there, and then that's it.
I think that's it.
I think that's all we have planned right now. So we're
you'll let us know. You'll let us know what you're planning with your folks for BC. And
absolutely. I'm hoping you guys get some kind of hospitality suite up there.
We'll see what we can book. Yes.
Yeah. So you and Jeff need to get a hospitality suite up there. I'll sponsor it if you want.
All righty. Where do you want to stay? You want to stay? And when do you want to stay? Let us
Actually, I've
know
got
that
my
too.
hotel there already.
Oh, do you? Oh,
Yeah,
we
I have
haven't
to
booked
send
yet.
you where my hotel. I've already booked.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Yeah, we
so
haven't
I've
booked
already
anything yet, so we're trying to figure out whether we're going to drive. I posed the question to Karen: do you want to drive out? If I'm not working, it's easy for me, but for her, she still has a business, so she's got to take care of herself. We got to take care of her customers. So
You got to stop by see the baby. You got to see the baby.
yeah, and we have to fit that in too. That's an
You do.
absolute must. Yes.
Yes, grandparents have to do those things. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Not
we got to
going
get down to Oregon. We got to go to
kids, no
Washington.
grandbabies. Thank God.
Yeah.
Yet.
So yeah, well, it's fun. I'm really happy, and
I saw the
she's
pictures.
just
Look great.
she's just a beautiful little thing. Yeah, we're
Wonderful.
looking forward to
Absolutely.
seeing her again. We're going to see her in April,
Yeah,
and then August. So, and I think we might have to move out
Arnie
there.
time in. We can't wait to see Arnie. It's
Yeah.
always special for us to do as well. But we'll be back up and see you guys in your neck of the woods. It's not planned yet, but we'll coordinate with you once we get back up there, depending on what the rules are and a few other things, because we don't want to get up there and go up too soon.
Yeah.
But,
well, things are lightening up now. The Ford government is nearing an election in June, so they're just letting things go, and the COVID doesn't exist now. You have it's all it's all rosy stuff, nothing negative. So there you go.
Right.
Anyway, we want to thank you so much for coming on and talking about your world record.
Yes.
When will you know the world record? Whether you got it, when you're going to be in the book?
I'm going to pay for the rapid audit process. It's $500, and if you don't pay the $500, it's 12 weeks. But I'll do the $500 rapid audit process at the end. So we should know 5 days after we submit all of our material, which still, you know more than anybody, is that once you get all that video, you have to come back and edit it.
Yeah.
And then you got to go through and make sure you got, everything looks like it should, is, making sure that you didn't miss something that could be misinterpreted as a 1 or a 2, and all these other things. It has to be extremely clear and concise on how you have to record it. Everyone in every picture. So
hopefully,
we think we have a videographer that's going to be doing all of that for us, and he's pretty good. And we'll see. He hasn't committed completely yet, but we hope he comes out and is out there to make sure it's all done. And I know he's a great editor, so he can pull all that together.
So that's so much work.
Does you want to come down and do it?
Don't think so. When is this?
You have to write around, huh?
When is this? You're doing the audit. You're videoing
April
the audit.
2nd and 3rd.
No, fine. I'm still working. I'm still tied up with Bright Drop. There you go. I'll drop that in there. That's our vehicle that we're building for GM. So,
very good. I think I saw something about that.
Yeah, North America's first, or Canada's first electric delivery vehicle plant. There you go.
So the new Tesla Gigafactory is in Austin, going to build the new Cybertruck and the new commercial 18-wheeler. They're building that down in Texas. You drive by that thing; it's massive. So it's interesting. They're going to build the trucks here in Texas. Not interesting. I just think that's the Gigafactory, and they're here, and you can't even buy a Tesla in Texas. You can order it here and then go to another state and pick it up.
Oh, hey, wait a minute. Here, I'll show you a picture. If I can bring this up. Come on. Come on. Okay, hang on. We're going to share. Stop screen share. Where is it? Right, there we go. That's as big as I can get it at the moment, but that's what we're working on right now. And there's 5 FedEx delivery vehicles, and I helped work on those 5.
Very nice. Are they got like a base battery and there's
a large, basically half the floor of the bed has the battery, and this is called an EV600, so it's 600 cubic feet. And next year we'll be building in Canada the EV410, which is 410 square feet, so a shorter version. And then the following year we'll be building both the long and short body. So right now I'm doing all the quality. These vehicles are being built in Michigan, and
shipped to you guys.
So they're being built in Michigan at this plant that puts together the machine layouts for an automotive factory, but the GM contracted with this company to just go ahead and build the first 500, and then they're being built, and then they're being shipped to my factory where I have a building that I work in now. It is all the quality process. So we align the wheels, we align the headlights, we drive it and make sure everything is passed electronically, and then I audit the vehicle, I drive it on the highway, and I do all the quality parts to say, yes, this is everything that's wrong with the vehicle, everything that needs to be fixed, and then certify it to go ahead and be shipped.
Very
so
cool.
That's my job.
You test driving it? Are you test driving it?
I have been on the highway now, and it is so cool. It is a lot quieter on the highway than I would have expected. There's not hardly any wind noise whatsoever. The back door rattles, but then it's a delivery vehicle, and the garage door is going to rattle on anything. But it is a joy to drive. It's so comfortable. It has a great sound system. It has Google Maps on it. You just touch the steering wheel, tell it where you want to go, and it says go here, and there you go. It has lane
rides you're going to have. When
keep assist
around the road, and you're going to see those on the road, you're going to say, you know what, those involved in the.
I helped put that together. Yeah, my dad, he passed away about 8 years ago, but he said something like this: "You must be proud when you see an Equinox driving down the highway and say, hey, I helped build that one."
Yeah, that's going to be cool.
And I've been in quality for 25 years, I think, at that plant. So, and it's amazing. I've worked there now for 32 years at one place. That's just amazing. So there you go. Certified by London Westy. My inspector number when I first started used to be 22. Now I'm an inspector.
Wow.
So if you see on the underwear band, inspected by 22,
you outlasted all the other 21.
Yeah. So there you go.
The other 21
spilling the beans. Yeah, no, it's all out there. You can read all about it. I was actually interviewed by the Detroit Free Press. I was in an article a couple of months ago for that.
Very nice.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you so much for putting this together. So much.
Well, thank you for having the internal fortitude or intestinal fortitude to have me on.
Awesome.
There are others that don't.
I can't wait for the feedback.
I appreciate the fact that you would have me on and listen to my story.
Yeah, we would love to have you on again, because there's more questions we'd like to ask. But as they say on Geocache Talk, that's for another show.
Yeah. They have their class, right?
Yeah. So we can talk about a Facebook page that's almost completely dedicated to you.
She'd rather me stay under the radar. She goes, no. She's always no, don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay, so we're gonna pull out of here and just stay with me for a minute while we do the outro, and we'll be right back. Okay, hang on here. So thank you everybody for coming along and watching our show tonight, and we hope you enjoyed it. And I think next week, is it next week? No, next week we have a taped version of our patron hangout. We recorded that before Christmas, and then the following week we have Geo Elmo will be on talking about his coin that he put out and the fundraising that went through for that. So look forward to that. And Geo Elmo, if you didn't know, is a 3-time entrant into the GIF Festival, and he's probably going to say that he's going to win in 2023, and we will have an entry in the GIF Festival for 2023 because 2022 doesn't exist. Oh, and I have the video almost done. Anyway, we'll be back next week.